What's good, y'all boys? Today I'm coming with you, and you can't see it, but I'm making my hand gesture just like Pat Evil Riley in the picture. Today I'm here to rant about this old man. He had a press conference just yesterday, 1 p.m., about the future of the team, considering our season just ended. We just got swept by Cleveland. Hurts my soul to say that Cleveland swept us. Sorry, franchise, but hey, I'm not hating. Yes, I am. Um, he said a few things that are of note, some things that are very infuriating. One thing that was semi-positive, yet I'm still questionable about. Um, but besides that, I'm not in the mood to be a little nice to this man today. I just watched the Celtics win a playoff game. I'm not happy. Yeah, I'm gonna take my anger out on this man, which he deserves. So it's not like it's unwarranted. So some of the things we're gonna talk about. So first of all, this is like the main thing that pissed me off, and 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 it really is somewhat pissed me off, but at the same time, it's somewhat charming. Pause. This man was glazing himself throughout the entire conference. I mean, like, dude, there's so many questions that has nothing to do with like anything. And bro is like, instead of answering the question, he will find some way to glaze himself, or he'll be asked a question like I can't remember word for word what the question was, but let's say you ask Pat Riley, hey, no, actually I do remember word for word. So the journalist asked this man, he's like, hey, your team the past 5 years has had a bottom past 3 years has had a bottom five offense in the league. Something around that nature. A bottom five offense in the league. There's 30 teams in the league. That means we were some of the worst offensive teams in the league. Now, to any other GM, this means we need to make changes, blah, blah, blah. This man didn't make, whatever. That's here nor there. That will be coming later. But instead of saying, oh, yeah, we need to make some changes, we need to do this, we need to make roster changes schematically, we need to make changes, maybe, mentality wise, something. This man deviates the conversation to his success.
24 times the playoffs. I'm not trying to pat myself on the back. I'm just giving you the numbers because, 24 times in the playoffs, and I only tried to tank twice and I was successful at it. Not really successful in the Wade year, but I was successful in 2008. But I never told anybody I was going to try to tank. I always said we're going to win, but we're tanking. Not really, but we were. But twice, the rest of the times, there's been, seven finals and 12 Eastern Conference finals. There's been three championships and stuff. So we have, I think, and I don't do this in a vacuum. We have a great front office, and we make decisions together. We plan and we plot together. And so I'm going to live on my track record. That's all I can live on. If you want me to give you the 13 times, we'll be here for a long time. But we've done this before.
Oh my God, what the fuck, bro? Nobody wants to hear that, bro. We're tired of hearing it. We're tired of it. This man asked you, oh, what do you need to do to step it up? Because clearly it's not enough. This man said, I've done this 13 times. No, I've done this 24 times, something like that. Yeah, I've done this 24 times. We made the playoff 13 times. We have three championships. Bro, what do your what does the success have to do with right now? Nobody asked you what happened 10 years ago, 12 years ago. Nobody asked what happened other seasons. Nobody, and we never asked you about that. We asked you what you're gonna do to change, or what moves are you gonna make This man, instead of answering that question, would rather sit there and in his mind, I know he's rubbing his old sweaty paws together like a evil supervillain and keep it on the low and just give you vague answers, glazing himself, basically telling you trust the process. Bro, I'm tired of hearing that, bro. I need to hear you. Come on, bro. I need to hear you say, yes, we're gonna be doing this, or no, we're not gonna be doing that. Something, bro. It's always a vague trust the process. I'm Pat Riley. Look what I've done in the past. Just trust me. You don't need an explanation from me. What, bro? You're the president of the team. You better give me an explanation. The fuck? Can we impeach this man? Damn, like anyway, next up on the as far as points goes, this man on several occasions, maybe 2 or 3 times, 40-minute press conference, this man deflects blame to Spo, which what what is the point? Bro, they will ask this man a roster question pertaining to the roster, what could be done to improve, the team. Like for example, bottom whatever offense. Oh yeah, the offense is bottom of the league, Pat. What changes need to be made? Because clearly the personnel isn't enough. So the first word out of his mouth, coach.
Ways about offense, but the last 3 years have been 30th, 26th, and 24th, I think, in scoring. Where do you find more offense for this group? Because obviously it's just not enough.
Well, I think Coach. I haven't talked to him about it yet because Eric has been doing this for 30 years, intensely as the video coordinator up to being my main assistant coach. 17 straight years of coaching. So he's been like here for 30 years. Never took a year off. Never takes a break. He's had some issues in his life, personal issues. And I see the strain and stress on him like I've never seen it before. This takes a toll. And when I talked to him the other day, he said he was going to Hawaii. I said, good, I'll see you in training camp then. That's not going to happen. But he needs a break and he needs time to reflect. He's the head coach. I could give him my playbook from 2006 or 7, but it's archaic, but it's not. But he'll figure this out. He knows we need to defend, and he needs to make whatever kind of changes he needs to make when it comes to the offense. And we'll talk about that. If he wants to listen to me, he will. If he doesn't, he has a lot of great people working for him. Yeah.
To follow up, you made reference to when you clearly...
Bro, coach? What do you want him to do? You have G Leaguers. Now, don't get me wrong, these G Leaguers are balling. But, dude, you have this dude with G Leaguers. And the first thing out of your mouth is coach? No. You don't need to be talking about, oh, yeah, coaching wise. And then this dude starts talking about, oh, Coach Spo has been doing this for 30 years. And I noticed this season it was really wearing on him. He needs a break. What? Now, on one hand, I think it was good nature that he was, just talking about his coach, kind of glazing the coach. But then at the same time, bro, it's like, what does that have to do with the question? Like, he starts going on a tangent about how I think Spo went on vacation to fucking Hawaii. What does that have to do with the question, bro? You're deflecting the Spo about coaching changes, and then this man, to add on to the self glaze, this man says, I'll point out some things that he can do. If he listens to me, he doesn't. I could whip out my playbook from 1970 or 19 something, and then he goes, it's outdated, but not really though, bro. I don't want to hear you glaze your playbook from 19 fucking 80, bro. I don't want to hear that. Don't want to hear that shit, bro. I don't want to hear about coaching. I don't want to hear about nothing, bro. Our coach is not the problem. Our personnel is the problem. Like, stop it, bro. And all those people, oh my God, all these people I see in these IG comments all these people that are quote unquote Heat fans, and then they want to blame Spo when we lose. Bro, I literally, I see you. Hey, I see you. I see you. Don't think you're not noticed. Cut that shit out, bro. We don't disrespect. We don't disrespect Coach Spo. It's a Filipino king right there. It's a king. Disrespect Spo. Ungrateful. Ungrateful children. That's what you are. But yet those be the same people defending Pat, not hearing it. Bro. Now, the biggest thing people took away from this, he basically said he's not going to run it back. As you probably know, we've been running it back the past, what, 5 years, 4 years, pretty much. Back to back to back. Same core lineup, minus give or take a couple players, whatever. Running it back, running it back. The main thing is, off season, he's not doing anything. He said this time we're not running it back. Well, no, no. He said most likely we're not going to run it back. This is what I mean with Pat Riley. Vague ass answer. What does that mean? Most likely? Most likely leaves room for possibly running it back. I don't want to hear that. I want to hear that yes, we're going all in on trying to improve the roster this offseason. I'm not saying you gotta come out the guns and say, oh, we're gonna sign, we're gonna add a superstar, we're gonna add an all-star. Oh, we're going out for, we're going for broke with no, bro. I'm not saying that, but damn, bro, can you like give us some optimism, bro? Something to look forward to? I never look forward to an offseason as a Heat fan. Never. 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 And you would think so because every offseason or every season is, oh, this player wants to come to Miami. This player wants to come to Miami. This player might request a trade, and here's their top trade destinations that they would prefer to go to. Miami is always on the list. Off the top of my head, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving. I heard some swirls about John Morant. I heard some swirls about Donovan Mitchell. A couple other players. It's slipping from me, but it's a lot of big name players. Pretty much every big name player, whenever it's time for them to get a trade or sign to a new team, top of the potential trade list. You go on your IG feed, you see them pictures of them photoshopped in a Heat jersey, just for it to never happen. Biggest one, Damian Lillard literally said, "I only want to come to Miami," and you didn't make a move. You didn't even try to make a move, bro. I need to hear something more than we most likely will run it back. Now, this is how starved Heat fans are of positives when it comes to off seasons and new player acquisitions. This man said he most likely will run it back. And by the way, he said that off of a corny joke, and I'm not gonna repeat it. This man said most likely. Now that isn't a for sure thing. That is a probability. And this has people so excited. They don't know what to. That's the headline all over the Heat pages. All the Heat people. Oh, we were not ready to get back. Well, we're gonna get it. Blah, 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 blah. Now, I'm not saying you won't get something good, but what I am saying is the fact that you saying most likely gets people all psyched and excited says something because you haven't done shit the past few seasons, bro. Like tighten up, bro. You've been taking vacations during the off season and disguising it as some kind of grand scheme. Stop it. You're pissing me off. Next, this man was asked about a Tyler Hero extension. The reporter specifically stated how Tyler Hero had his best season yet, yada, yada, yada. Pat Riley, immediately after that, he goes off on a tangent about some BS. He starts semi-glazing Tyler Hero. And it's like whatever glaze him, whatever, bro. And then at the end he adds in, you're always gonna have some nights there. He goes 4 for 19. It's just the kind of player he is. What? What? Even if that's true, bro, why would you say that, bro? This is the type of stuff I be talking about. Why would you say that about your player, bro? Ridiculous, dog. And then he goes on to just duck the directly. He doesn't answer if he wants to extend him or not. He goes, "Oh, we're happy to have him here. He's young." He goes on a speech, a tangent that just doesn't answer the question. Answer the damn question. So guess what? I don't know for that's he gave a vague answer about that too. All he said was, "I'm happy to have him. I hope." I forgot what he said. He just gave a vague answer. He never gives a direct yes. He's pretty much saying, "Is that something you're pushing for?" That was the question that he was asked. Is that something you're pushing for? Is it an extension with Tyler Hero that you're pushing for? This man never said, "Oh, dude." No one said you have to commit today and say, "Yeah, I'm going to extend Tyler Hero." No, but you can at least say, you can at least say, "I hope to extend Tyler Hero. I hope we have a future with Tyler Hero." Or you could say, "It's looking positive. He's showing improvement. And if he continues on this path, yeah, I'd be happy to extend him." Or, something along the lines of it's very likely, or, just positive to build rapport, to give that confidence in your player. Dude, you gotta build you think the players are just gonna, well, you have to, you're my player, you better do what you do, bro. Yes, to a degree that is absolutely right, but dude, the things you say at these press conferences regarding your players, do you think they just don't hear it? It affects them mentally. It affects them. It affects their motivation to play for you, their loyalty to you. So if imagine you're a player now, put yourself in an NBA player's shoes, and you play your ass off on an entire season. You had the best season you've ever had. The president of your team is asked, "Hey, do you think you want to extend this guy?" Mind you, this guy's been with us during two finals. And instead of the president going, "Yeah, man, he's on a great track. It's looking like we might extend him going on this, or he's on a great path, and I can't wait to see what the future holds for us. I hope he stays a part of it," or something. No, what does he say? He mentions how you have bad nights. He mentions how he doesn't directly say that he wants a future with you. I think he may have hinted at that, but he never outright says it. He doesn't stand on it. He doesn't embrace you as a player. Doesn't that create, I mean, on one hand it creates a chip on your shoulder to kind of prove him wrong, prove, get try to get that praise out of him. But dude, like, you gotta have a some kind of way of getting your players to feel good about putting that Heat uniform on and want to make you proud. You're not doing a good job of that. I'm gonna say, um, the very first thing with this press conference that he did, I watched it, and for a second I believed this man was about to apologize.
So the buck stops with me. I'll take that hit if you want it. What happened during the regular season, I don't want to really discuss. I remember this about Jimmy. I remember the bubble when he was hanging over the scorer's table, exhausted, and trying to win a title. I remember that. I have that in my office, that picture. I remember the exit meeting that we had when we got swept by the Bucks the next year. He wasn't a very happy guy. I don't even know if he came in. Maybe it was maybe a minute. I said, "Go home or go wherever you go." And then one of my favorite moments with Jimmy was the rebound he had with 9 seconds to go in the third year against Boston in the seventh game here. And I was sitting with Chris, and I remember, we're going to win this game, and we're going to play Golden State. He rebounded it on the left side of the court. He dribbled up left-handed. He crossed over to the right side of the court. He got right to his spot, and he raised on a three. He could have taken Horford, but he probably wouldn't have got a call at that time of the game, especially today, how they're refereeing games. And so I remember I stood up as he was dribbling up. I said, "This is going to go in, and we're going to go to the finals again." And he just missed a little bit to the left. And the next year, the play-in and the great run we had to the finals out of the play-in. I think it was 6 games at Denver. And he played his ass off, his heart out for us. And, the last year and a half, it wasn't the same. He got hurt against Philadelphia. We didn't have him. in when we got 4 out of 5 against Boston. And then there was this year. So no, I'm not going to apologize for saying no on a contract extension when we didn't have to, and I don't think I should. And I will always say that to the players. If I was coaching, keep your mouth shut. I'll see you in next training camp, and you get it back, on the court. But it's different today with players. So anyhow, that's what I want to talk about with Jimmy. I've been through those kinds of situations before, even with this team, a couple times. And so it's over. He's done. I wish him well. Good luck to him. And I hope deep down in his heart somewhere, he wishes us well too.
And just to follow up on that, so
Do
you
we
make
have to follow up on that?
Go
ahead.
It's not really.
Or, I'm not necessarily saying I wanted a direct apology, but I thought maybe he would say, I somewhat regret how the Jimmy thing played out. I wish this could have happened. I wish that could happen. Something along those lines would have been nice. But he goes on this little tangent talking about the glory days with Jimmy and all those great performances he put up. And he really leads you on, and you can see the joy in his face. This man is loving just retelling it, and he makes it sound like it's so precious to him. And then he immediately says, I'm not gonna, am I gonna apologize? No, I don't think I should apologize. I don't really need to get an extension. He stands on it. That bullshit he said about keep your mouth shut. Um, he stood on that, which you didn't have to, you don't have to stand on it. You don't have to necessarily back off, but just standing on something like that is crazy. And when that's not what your fans want to hear. You're just saying, I don't know if that's him being petty. I don't know what that is. Nevertheless, it pissed me off. Oh my God. That was the main thing that pissed me off, like off rip. This man really has a way with the words when it comes to pissing you off.